Hi everybody. If anybody's ever seen any of my bag videos before, I tend to be kind of a nitpicker. It's just my personality, I can't help it. For a very long time, years and years, I've carried some kind of jumbo clone, or real jumbo, as my normal bag, but I have had a UTG bag, and I have a VanQuest bag, all basically variants on the jumbo theme, and I own two regular jumbos. I really like this bag. I've often said that it's not great for any kind of long distance hiking, what have you, single sling, it's not great. I mean, you need to carry 15-20 pounds, better to have two straps. That's just my opinion, but it is what it is. Okay, this video is going to be about the Pathfinder Trail Pro Adventure Bag. I'd like to thank my friend, the plumber from EDCF, for getting this to me. He wasn't happy with it, decided to sell it to me, and it's okay. This is a nice bag. It would never be a good EDC bag. It's just way too big. You can walk around with a jumbo, especially the one I normally run is the khaki foliage variant. I never feel self-conscious walking around with that thing. This thing, if you ever tried to walk in the mall, out in public, whatever, I think it's so large and the such a dark earth tone, you know, it would draw unnecessary attention to yourself. Out in the woods, the guys at Pathfinder, I think, designed this to be a more modern haversack where you could like go bushcrafting for a few days in this, and I think you probably could if you didn't go very far with it. I don't think you're hiking 10 miles into the woods with this thing. Okay. And we'll get to that in a minute. And plus there's some other funky things that they did on this bag which I don't really understand, and we'll talk about that. Little grist for the mill, give you something to think about that. Quality wise, this bag, I would say at $50, which is what they get for them over at Pathfinder or Self Reliance Outfitters, it's a fair value. It's not great. The $30 UTG bag, which is also PVC coated nylon like this, I would say is a slightly better built bag than this, you know, all things considered. It's not that this is poorly made. It does have YKK zippers, but there's just some areas where it's not, you know, the sewing's not great. And you know, I think when you just try to upscale a bag like the jumbo and make it this big, it doesn't translate well. I mean, just generally, I mean, look at the size difference. It's enormous. Okay, let's take a closer look and I'll show you what I was saying about some weird stuff going on with the bag. Okay, this is the jumbo that I mainly use when I'm not entertaining myself by trying out other bags. If you ditch the EDC forum patch, this is a very nondescript, blends in, low profile option for an everyday carry bag. You know, everywhere from Dollywood to Steamtown, USA, Hershey Park, you name it, the bag's been there. Never had anybody say anything. No, you know, nobody ever bats an eye at it. Once in a while I do have other grown middle-aged men come up to me and ask me about my bag, but always in where can I get that type of questioning. It probably does help that, you know, I'm a married guy with kids, and you know, when you're walking around like that, nobody's suspicious of you. And not that I'm doing anything wrong, but you know, I just kind of blend in, like, you know, pudgy middle-aged guy. Nobody cares. But all right. Oh, by the way, this is a Gen 1 bag. This used to have a little belt loop similar to what they have on the back of this. I'll get to that in a second. But okay, so this bag comes with two shoulder straps. Okay, I don't run the shoulder strap or the shoulder pad, excuse me, on any of my bags, so I ditched that stuff right away. Comes with 3 of these male side release buckles with little loops. Okay, I only got 2, but it's supposed to come with 3. I think I don't know whether my buddy lost one somewhere or whatever. And Mod Kitty, don't worry about it if you know, don't go looking for it. I don't really care because I'm not going to use them. And it comes with one male SRB. And this is all to help you MacGyver stuff to the bottom of the bag or the top of the bag or wherever. Okay, so we'll get rid of that. We're going to keep this one for a second. Also has 2 of these adjustable straps. Okay. I guess the plan was, or is, for this to get slid on here. Right? You close this. You know, you would wrap, you know, you'd roll your tarp or your bedroll up, whatever. You know, you'd have this around there. 2 of them. Okay? You guys have seen this on the Pathfinder official video. Okay? And then it clips to the bottom of this. But what you have here is just something that's dangling loose way far away from the bottom of the bag. And the solution for this seems pretty simple to me. You don't need all this extra stuff. Much like the jumbo bag that has a row of loops on the bottom, webbing loops, okay? When they copied that, they put them on the bottom of this bag. Great idea, you know, you could slide this right through here, okay, adjust it, whatever, put your bedroll, your tarp, your poncho, boom, connect it directly to the bottom of the bag. Personally, I think a bag this size, adding more stuff to the outside of it is really too much for a single strap messenger style bag, okay, but if you want to do it, there's the solution. The problem is, you guys sewed right through this. You know what I mean? Like, why bother putting this here if you're going to sew it down so it's unusable? Makes no sense. Personally, I think you could ditch this stuff. You know, run the 2 of these through there. Good to go, right? I mean, oh, by the way, speaking of like how this isn't as nice as the UTG bag, see, like stuff like that, or like this, I don't, this is not like well sewn, you know, and there's no padding in here, by the way, so like I said, I don't use it, so I don't really care about that. But other questionable things they did on this bag, which make no sense to me. All right, you got like some webbing and some pals right here, completely covered by the buckle. Why sew stuff on there if you're never going to be able to use it in any real way? You know, look where the strap is attached here. You know, and again, I wouldn't, like, there's pals all over this. You know, I got a Grimlock on there or whatever, but I wouldn't be attaching stuff to the outside of this one either. It's the, you know, if you can't fit it in this bag, don't take it with you. I mean, you just get a bigger bag. And when I say a bigger bag, I mean something with 2 straps. When you get to like the volume that this has, you know, 2 straps is the way to go. Again, that's just my opinion. I know there's a lot of like 20-year-old kids out there that, oh, I hiked 75 miles with my Maxpedition Mongo Jumbo. No problems, dude. Well, you know, I don't know. Let me see it. You know, I've hiked like 7 miles with it, and it's brutal. And, you know, I'm sure, you know, probably wouldn't bother me as much 10 years ago, but it's still not ideal, and it would have still been a pain. So yeah, I don't understand putting the molly there. The other thing, while we're here in the front of the bag, there's a little pocket, you know, pouch right here. Like, wow, this is a bushcrafting bag. Wonder if I can fit an Altoids tin in there. That's about as far as an Altoids tin would go in there. That seems like a miss to me on a bag designed for bushcrafters. You know, why wouldn't you make it big enough for that? It's not big enough for a ham radio. It is just barely big enough if you have a little, you know, if your kids like to run these little radios, you can get that in there. But maybe like a small flip phone or something, definitely no smartphone, whatever. Hey, why don't you put a multi-tool in there, TH? Well, multi-tool fits in there, obviously, but I can get my whole thumb in there, probably at least 2-3 fingers in there besides that. So it's not really well sized for anything a man of action would carry. So there's that. Okay, now they kind of tout this as being versatile and multifunctional, and you know, in some ways it is, but in other ways I think they missed another opportunity, because this is a female and a male setup, but on the bottom they have two males, so, or two females, excuse me. You have two accessory straps, which can easily be the length of this, and you can make it into an impromptu backpack easily enough, except that this would work, right? Oh wait, doesn't work, right? It's so much better to like male, female, female, male down here. You would have really had something. The way it is, you can't make this into a backpack. I've seen the Pathfinder videos. You know, the one that's on the Self Reliance Outfitter. They're like, oh, you just make like, or I think the directions might say you can make some kind of pack frame for it. You know, you can, you know, out of twigs, or you could put it on an Alice pack frame. You know, why go through all that trouble? Again, the simple solution is, you know, you have those accessory straps. Why not have it so this can just go up and over on your back? That seems like the simplest thing. Like they're overthinking this in that regard. Now, I mentioned this before. On the Jumbo, I cut it off because I never use it. But this was meant to like loop through your belt loop. I don't think I've seen any of the Pathfinder official videos say that that's what that's for. I think they say that it's used for like hooking it up to a pack or some other way of carrying this. But it's really not quite big enough. Certainly not for like an 1 3/4 belt. This is not going to go through there. That's about, you know, 1.5 inches at best. Okay, so I mean, a big belt not going to work. Anyway, if I continue to carry this or play with it outside, I'm going to cut that off anyway. So, you know, it's really immaterial. This water bottle pocket, it's huge. You get a 40-ounce clean canteen in there, no problem. It's definitely wide enough to accept a full 8-ounce canister, which, you know, bushcrafters don't carry these things because, you know, it's cheating, but, you know, it is what it is. I like to make it simple. Other than that, you know, I don't know, like I said earlier, this is like a fair value bag for what it is, but I think they definitely could have made some improvements to the way they designed it. This is the biggest crime right here, like I said. To sew these things down, the two end ones, so they're not useful at all, is a real bummer. Okay, well that's it. That's my... By the way, I love Dave Canterbury. That guy's like a hero of mine, and not for the bushcrafting, but because he's pretty much living the American dream, being an entrepreneur and having multiple businesses. I really admire him, and you know, since the day he left Dual Survival, the show is never the same. I mean, Cody was great, but Cody can't carry it by himself. And anyway, so it's not, I'm not trying to hate on Dave, not that anybody cares what I think about Dave Canterbury, but that's that. So, I don't know. There's some design misses on this. And again, I think it's really too big to be of much use. Like it's a little overboard. And especially with this stuff dangling off the thing. But by the way, like if you ever decide to make this into a backpack and, you know, put a male side release buckle on this side right here, I would mount them back here. But you know, why they're in the front and not centered, I don't know. Okay, well that's all I have on that. Thanks for watching. I guess you have to decide for yourself if it was worth it, this bag. Alright, thanks guys.